Our next speaker has coached athletes to new levels of performance, as well as students and working professionals through their career transitions. Greg Frederick is going to help you see the importance of being a leader, even though you don't have the title of leader. It's the fastest way to advance your career. Greg is a SOAR evangelist and principal of G3 Development Group. Visit the Grad Career Festival website for additional information on their career, accomplishments, and coaching business. I'm excited to introduce you to Greg Frederick.
Introduction. My name is Greg Frederick. I'm here to share 3 tips to help you emerge in your new career. A little bit about myself. I'm a cyclist. I have a beautiful wife, 3 boys. I own a company called G3 Development Group where we focus on strengths, leadership, and mindset development, executive coaching, mindset coaching with premier athletes and world-class athletes. And I do a lot of speaking engagements throughout the year and also business consulting. So you get a picture of who I am and who's talking to you. Real quick, congratulations, you guys are graduating from college. My educational journey began at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, where I've got a Bachelor's of Science in Aviation Business Management. I've also got my pilot's license, and most importantly, while at Embry-Riddle, I interned at Philadelphia International Airport for 1 year. So I highly encourage you, if you're graduating, you have the opportunity to intern. That is invaluable experience that you can get to help get your foot in the door. For me, upon graduating Embry-Riddle, I walked into a position at Philadelphia International Airport because of my internship. So if you have the opportunity, I highly encourage it. 12 years later, I went back to school. I got my master's degree in global executive leadership development through the University of Nebraska Gallup Leadership Institute. And as a lifelong learner, I have my professional certification. I'm a certified sales executive through Sales and Marketing International. And I also have a certificate in peak performance mindset training through Mindset Science. Today we're going to talk about focusing on your strengths. Your strengths, your talents are unique to you. No one else has the same talent makeup that you do, and no one else can manifest your talents the way that you do. So we'll talk about that. Second part, we'll talk about how to lead without a title, right? So many of you are leaving college, you're going to walk into an entry-level position or a middle management position. You may not have the title that you think you need to be a leader in the organization. So we'll talk about tips and how you can be a leader without the title. And finally, the growth mindset for career success. So mindset is what separates the 2%ers, right? So the 98% of the people out there are trained in different things, but the 2% who have that positive growth mindset separate themselves from the rest of the pack. So we'll talk about how you can use your growth mindset for career success. All of this is based on G3's Emerge coaching platform, again, strengths, leadership development, and mindset growth. So this is a comprehensive coaching package that we do. So all of these tips are derived from that package. But before I get started, so much of us over history have heard about climbing the corporate ladder. And if you know who Marcus Buckingham is, he is a guru in today's career management and a management guru. Everything is scientifically based. If you have the opportunity to follow him or see him, I highly encourage it. Go to his blog, marcusbuckingham.com, and sign up for his blog. He just wrote a book called 9 Lies About Work. His groundbreaking work and First Break All the Rules book. I highly recommend that. But in 9 Lies About Work, he talks about the career mosaic. So no longer is there the corporate ladder. We stay in positions now less than 4 years on average. So in each position that we walk into, or each team, or each employer, or each job that we walk into over the next 4, 8, 12 years, we're going to take a piece from here, a piece from there, piece from this person, piece from that person. We're going to build a career mosaic. We're not necessarily always going up the ladder. We're going to go side to side, up and down, forward, backward, and build this mosaic. And for me, like I mentioned, as soon as I graduated graduated Embry-Riddle, I walked into a position as an international operations person at Philadelphia International Airport. And that's where I began my career mosaic. And ironically enough, while I was working there, I was racing bicycles professionally, ran into the president of Giant Bicycles, which is the world's largest bicycle brand. While I was working, I was trying to get back into aviation in Florida because I really wanted to go back to Florida where Embry-Riddle was. He offered me a job in sales, bicycle sales in Florida. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take that, hoping to get a job in aviation if I didn't like the bicycle sales thing. 18 years I spent at Giant from that decision. But I went from a sales rep to a regional manager to a national sales manager to director VP of sales and retail and business development. So I kind of built that corporate ladder, but in each one of those positions, I grew within the company, and I got to travel and see different things around the world. So I was building my career mosaic, and I went from aviation to bicycles, which is my passion, but we're going to talk about strengths and how I was successful at Giant. But once I left Giant 5 years ago, I started G3 Development Group, and that's, again, where I train. I train people on mindset, and I do speaking and training engagements. And what has ultimately led me to giving this presentation is working with SOAR, the pro coaching platform. So you can check them out at soar.com. Focusing on your strengths. What does that mean? If you haven't taken Strengths Finder, I highly encourage you to do so. You can go to gallupstrengthscenter.com. You can find a book called Strengths Finder 2.0 by Tom Rath. In the Amazon era, if not it's one of the most highly sold books since Amazon started tracking books. 21 million people have taken strengths. And what are strengths? The strengths assessment ranks your strengths or your talent themes from 1 to 34 in order. And your top 5 strengths are your dominant strengths. That's who you wake up every morning to be. If you're going to play to your best day in, day out, whether it's at home or at your work life or in athletics, whatever it is that you do, if you can focus on your top 5 talents and implementing them day in and day out, you're going to be the best version of yourself. So what does that mean? How does that manifest itself for you graduating from college and going into the workplace? So these are my 5 strengths: learner, relator, competition, achiever, responsibility. How does that manifest it for me? As you can see, learner, I love the act of learning. You can see I've got multiple certifications. I stay in school. I stay on top of my accreditations. I love to learn. But for me as a trainer and a consultant, I like to learn so that I can help you and I can help my clients learn and be better, right? And my relator strength means I have a small group of friends. I've had 5 or 6 friends that I can rely on to give me criticism, feedback, advice. We go back and forth. We talk almost on a weekly basis, the same 5 or 6 friends that I've had throughout my life, and we're very comfortable. So for me, having that sounding board of coaches or friends or mentors that I can reach out to and give advice to helps me immensely. Competition. When I got into sales, right, I love numbers. I love to compete. I want to know the score. I want to know how much sales we did every single day. I want to know where I stand compared to other people. I'm a quiet competitor. I'm not that overtly type of person that's going to walk into a room and just blow up the room with my cockiness, but I'm a quiet competitor. I want to know where everybody stands. I use my learner strength to learn about my competition. When I was in sales, I wanted to know about my competition. I passed that information off to my customers to make them more informed and have them make an informed decision on our product. Achiever means I love to check my to-do list. I sometimes can't go to sleep till 1, 2 o'clock at night until I can check everything off my to-do list. I'm the type of person, if I can get 6 hours of good sleep, knowing I checked off everything off my to-do list, that's much better than trying to get 8 hours of sleep where I'm tossing and turning, trying to, playing in my mind the things that I didn't achieve for the day. So achievers work tirelessly to do what they're doing. And finally, responsibility, right? I'm that guy. It's 3, 2, 1. Pass me the ball. I want to shoot the 3-pointer. I want to shoot the game-winning 3-pointer. I love the responsibility. The higher the pressure, the better for me. And that's how my strengths manifest for me. I like high stakes. I love competing. I like to learn. And imagine, I think back, if I had known this about myself at the point where you guys are leaving college, walking into a position, man, some of the choices I would have made would have been life changing, and I would have gotten much further along in my career if I did that. So, what I want you to do, get the book StrengthsFinders 2.0, or visit gallupstrengthcenter.com, take the assessment. You'll get a report with your top 5 strengths, and I'll explain your top 5 strengths and some traits of those strengths. You highlight some of those traits that you identify with. And then when you go to your first job, or you're looking for your first job, align the job duties of that position with your strengths, so that when you go into that position, you're going to play to those strengths day in and day out in those job duties. Hopefully you'll find a position where you could use 80% of your strengths day in and day out in that position. So that's why I want you to highlight the job duties or job description with your strengths, so that you can align those things, and you'll be wildly more successful if you can do that. I love to say people are more self-aware through strengths, give and get more, right? It's all about self-awareness. If you know your strengths and you know who you are and what makes you tick and what makes you play to your sweet spot day in and day out, you're going to be more self-aware. You're going to be more confident. More confident people lead. Leaders build followers, right? So we want you to be self-aware. We want you to be super confident. And that's what our coaching program does, is take strengths and build self-awareness out of those to make you a better leader. So that takes me to the second point. So how to lead without the title. So many of you, again, you'll leave college, you're going to walk into an entry-level position, or you're going to take a position to get your foot in the door to a great company, right? But you're not going to have the title that you think to lead. So how do you lead if you don't have the title? We call it leading up. And this picture right here is all about leading up. I don't want to put anything around it other than, you see this young lady, obviously she's leading up, right? She is showing presumably her manager on the right-hand side, older gentleman, right? And the demographics are different here, but she's leading up by whatever it is they're looking at, sales numbers, her new project, her new finding, whatever it is, she's leading up to her peers, her manager, and other people in the organization. This picture perfectly describes what leading up is all about. Some traits of leading up, or some tips to help you lead up when you get into that new position, is offering strategic insight about the market or competitor. Use that talent that you have of studying in school and doing research and bringing that to the workplace and offering insight that the workplace may not see on the marketplace or the competitor. Asking questions of clarity on objectives. I can't stress this enough. As you step into a role, if you're not clear on the objective given to you from a manager or peer or whatever it is, please, you owe it to yourself to ask questions to get clarity on those objectives, because you want to give your best work, right? If you're unclear about the objectives, your work may not meet expectations. So don't ever hesitate to ask questions of clarity. Asking for and offering coaching. We all love to be coached. Managers love to give coaching opportunities. It's expected in many workplaces today that managers coach new employees. So don't hesitate to ask for it. Always make the people around you look good. It's easy to want to leave college and get into a position and put your stamp on everything, right? You become very I focused. Be cognizant of that. Be very cognizant of that. And you really want to be we focused. Any opportunity that you have to make your team look better, make your co-workers look better, make your customers look better, make yourself look better, all builds your leadership brand. Raising your hand and doing what others don't want to do. I see in many organizations that we work with, when they have new employees or recent grads come in, there'll be projects out there and the longer term employees will roll their eyes or, I don't want to do that. I guarantee you need to be the first person to raise your hand to take on that project. You may be out of your comfort zone, but you're going to build your leadership brand and leadership qualities by taking on projects that other people don't want to do. Thinking about how your actions impact the people around you. So please be cognizant about how you act or react in any situation. It does affect other people on your team, other coworkers, customers. You always have to think about how your actions impact the people around you. Positive actions create positive impact. Positive impact for the people around you builds a team. Building a team helps build your leadership brand. Finally, be on time and be energetic. We're going to talk about energy next, but be on time. The number one thing that can diminish your leadership brand is to be late. Don't be late to meetings. Don't be late to the first day of work. Just don't be late. Do your best to be on time. Be early, be deliberate, but try to be on time at the very least, and bring as much energy as you can to your work every day. And that will definitely build your leadership brand and help you lead up, even if you don't have the title. The last part is growth mindset for career success. Again, growth mindset is the cherry on top. It's what separates the 2%ers from the 98%ers. I want you to know that 80% of success comes from your psychological skills. 80%, right? Tony Robbins got on stage in LA last year and talked about the 20-80 rule. So 20% of your success comes from your skills and 80% comes from the psychology or the mindset, and being able to push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. If you're stressing about something, that shows that you have fear. So you always want to take that negative stress or that negative thought and try to turn it into a positive thought. And that will help you get over the hump and get into a growth mindset. Another great book is by Dr. Carol Dweck. She wrote Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. She is the guru on mindset in the business work environment. She mentioned in her book, the only thing that separates people who succeed from those who don't is whether or not they have a growth mindset. What does that mean? Let's dive into that a little bit. She also wrote recently in Harvard Business Review in 2016, individuals who believe their talents can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and input from others tend to achieve more than those with a fixed mindset. So let's dissect that a little bit. I highlight this in green because talents can be developed, right? To take it back to the first point of strengths, strengths are talents, right? Strengths, talents become strengths when they're developed. So individuals who believe their strengths can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and input from others, right? So taking criticism, getting feedback from mentors, working in team environment, getting after action reports and reflecting, getting that input from others will help build your strengths and will help you achieve more than those with a fixed mindset. So what is a fixed mindset? Here's kind of a checklist. If we go through these and you recognize any of these points in yourself, you need to change that. People with a fixed mindset avoid challenges. Change is constant. Please know that. Change is constant. If you can't adapt to change over the length of your career, you're going to get stuck into a fixed mindset and you're not going to succeed and flourish in your career. So people with a fixed mindset avoid challenges. They give up easily. When the tough gets tough, they bail out. They don't put in the work to succeed. Hey man, if it was easy, we'd all do it, or it would have already been done. To achieve greatness, to achieve things outside of your comfort zone, you have to put in the work to succeed. There's no hacks in life. Ignore feedback. Criticism's tough. That's another constant. We're always going to be criticized, right? I'm sure you're sitting there on the other end criticizing how I use my hands, how I look, how I have a bald spot, how I'm presenting, or how I'm saying or we all get criticized all the time, but you have to accept the fact that you're going to be criticized. But what you do with that criticism is to learn, right? We hear Gary Vee, we hear all these people talk about learning from our mistakes or learning from criticism. The only way we can learn from that is to accept it. Finally, feeling threatened by the success of others. If you feel threatened by the success of others, when you get into a work environment and one of your job mates or teammates or coworkers has success ahead of you, you need to celebrate that because you want them to celebrate it when you have it. So celebrating other people's success will help build your leadership brand. So to tie it back to leadership, but don't feel threatened by other success. Learn from it. So let's talk about growth mindset. It's complete opposite, right? So people with a growth mindset are open to learning, right? You got to constantly learn, right? Embrace the change. Embrace the change is constant. So you have to embrace and be open to learning new challenges, embracing the challenges, right? Again, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. See effort as a way to success. Anything that's been achieved, any greatness that's been achieved has taken a lot of work and a lot of effort and has taken time. There's no hacks to achieve success. Learn from criticism. I just talked about that. We all get criticized in one way or another. That's part of life. We have to accept it. You don't have to accept meanness, right? But you have to accept criticism in a positive way and persist in the face of adversity. Because oftentimes when it gets tough out there and you feel like you can't make it, that next move or that next step or that next day or the next thing that you do will get you over the hump, will get you over the mountain, will get you over whatever that roadblock is to success. And man, when you overcome that hurdle or that hump or that mountain and you reach success, it will be so sweet. So I encourage you, don't give up. And finally, find lessons in the success of others. Advice that I can give to you in your career, no matter what career path you take or what position you take, find out what has made other people in that position or in that field that you're in. Find out what makes them successful and try to emulate that and build that around your strengths. Tie your strengths to what made those people successful, because again, they have their own strengths. So any common ground that you can find, put that together and find the lessons in the success of others. Okay, last point, energy transference. I borrowed this slide from the Instagram of Conscious Vibrancy. One of the things I do when I do mindset training in front of large groups, I pull somebody out of the audience, bring them on stage, and I can literally take their energy down. I can take away their energy to a point where they can't even lift their arm. I could talk to them and I could change their energy through this exercise, and they can't even lift their arms by me changing their energy. So I'm changing the force field, the energy force field that they're giving off. And then conversely, I can give them the positive energy, right? So the exercise is about energy transference and giving people positive energy and how we have this energy force field around us. So my point being, everybody has bad days. I get it. But if you're walking into work or you're walking into a career day or you're walking into an interview, or more importantly, if you're meeting with customers, make sure you smile. You have to smile. You have to bring positive energy. People want to radiate around people that are positive, right? You walk in to a restaurant and the hostess is negative and gives you attitude, you're going to have a bad experience right from the get-go at that restaurant. You may not even go in. You might turn around and walk away, right? So think about if you walk into a smiling face and you're greeted well and they know your name, right? Think about the positive experience that you'll have because of that interaction. So be cognizant about the energy that you bring. It's the next big thing in mindset training is how much energy you have with you, and smiling and being positive. I can't stress that enough. That will help you succeed more than anything else that we've talked about today. So bring the positive energy day in and day out. I know it's tough and you're going to get kicked around and you're going to look for new jobs, but stay positive, stay hungry, and bring the positive energy. Last stat, Before we leave, Sean Acker wrote a book called Before Happiness. He found that people with a happy mindset, they're 23% more energetic, 31% more productive, and 300% more creative. Sorry, I clicked through there really quick, but 300% more creative people with a happy mindset. So to tie it all together, how do you emerge in your career? Know your strengths, tie your strengths to your role, build your career mosaic. Understand it's not always a corporate ladder. You may have to take a step back. You may have to take a step sideways to get ahead in the long run, but you're building a career mosaic instead of climbing the corporate ladder. Lead up. I give you the tips on how to lead up, be positive, help your teammates, take on those responsibilities that no one else is doing, and build your leadership brand and get into that growth mindset. If you find yourself in that fixed mindset, change quick, get into a growth mindset. When you start to grow, innovation and success comes from just changing that mindset and being open to learning new things. Practice positivity. Smile. If you roll out of bed in the morning and smile, it changes your whole physiology. It changes how your body composition is made just by a simple smile. When we smile, it changes our energy, right? Reflect often and be and create the energy. Be and create the energy, right? Be that one that walks in with the energy. Be that one that's giving off those positive vibes and who is radiant. Be that person. You'll see great success in your career if you do that. That's what I have for you today. I appreciate your time. If you want to reach out to me, please feel free. Offering my time, I will answer any emails at emerge@g3developmentgroup.com. Follow me on Twitter @G3leadership. The website is g3developmentgroup.com. And please feel free to LinkedIn at Greg Frederick. You can search Orlando, Florida if you can't find me, but the LinkedIn is LinkedIn.com/Greg Frederick, 3 G's, GREGG, Frederick. Feel free to please reach out to me. I like to answer any of the inquiries that I get. I'm always offering free advice. I'm always offering and posting inspiration, motivational things, and sharing great stories to help you in your career. Thank you.